This is the Stanley number 72 chamfer plane. It's a reasonably rare plane to find these days and does command a premium price. The plane comes in two parts, which is the main body of the plane. The main body of the plane being the section that straddles the corner of the timber, like so, and enables smooth running at a 45-degree angle on a 90-degree angle timber to enable a chamfer to be taken. The second part is the nose, and the nose holds the blade assembly. There is no chip breaker on this assembly. It is just the blade and the lever cap, which is a screw type. This section here is what dictates the depth of your shaving. The amount that the blade is sticking out from this toe section is how much you will shave per pass. When this section is attached to the main body of the plane, zero is not a direct line. It sits up because this section here, being in line with the corner, is ground zero for the depth of the chamfer that you're taking. So if you want to take a 5mm chamfer, 5mm directly in, you'll take this ground zero and then you'll drop this down 5mm straight down. So you measure 5mm down from the toe to where it hits on the main body, and just roughly about there, you drop it down to that point, tighten it up with the star adjuster. It's a 5-point star at the back there. Once you've taken that, this is then 5mm higher than the corner, so that will be your end chamfer depth. And each shaving that you take of your timber will be no more than the depth of the shaving set, and then you will take however many shavings it takes to get down to a 5mm chamfer. The plane actually came with two heads. The primary head has the longer toe on it. The second head that it came with is a bullnose head. What happened throughout the life of the plane was predominantly these planes got utilised with the standard head, and as that was the main use of them, as always happens with spares in a toolkit, these got thrown into a drawer. Quite often they got lost. So when you're hunting for a plane, you'll often not find the bullnose. What you'll find is the number 72, like that, with the longer nosed toe. These are now quite rare and hard to come by, and they do seek a premium price because of that. But that said, to utilise one of these, we just remove the toe. You will need the 5-point star adjuster off the back. You will need the lever cap, and you will need the blade. Once you've removed those from your standard toe, you put that aside. You then come back with your bullnose and you drop your blade in. You check the depth of the blade that you want to take as far as cut is concerned, cut depth, and you lock it in place with your lever cap. No different to any other plane. And that will give you the shaving depth that you're after per cut. Now I've set that quite deep just then by hand. You would take more time and set that a lot thinner. Like all planes, you can get an idea of the depth of your cut by sighting down the toe and checking the end of the blade. Always good to try and do it with some light on it so you get a bit of reflection. Bit hard to do that with the camera, but with a bit of reflection, with a bit of light, you'll see the polished section of your blade sticking out, and you can see just how much you are likely to take as far as shaving is concerned. And with these, generally it's backed off with a tap of the hammer there, and you can see marks where the japanning has come off because it's been tapped with the hammer there, or you tap it gently on the blade to push the blade back in, and that will adjust the depth of your shaving. Slot that into your mechanism. With your star nut located back in. And you set the depth of cut the same way you would, or not the depth of cut, the depth of the chamfer, the same way you would with your longer nose, and tighten it up. The only difference between the bull nose and the standard nose is when you're going into corners. If you're going into a corner, the bull nose will let you get closer to the corner, assuming this standard nose I've put here is an upright timber. The bull nose will let you get the blade closer to the timber that's upright, leaving less that is not cut at the end. You will never get right to the corner with one of these, and you will need to finish off with a chisel. However, it does allow you to get a lot closer. And because you never actually take a shaving all the way, it will actually curve up at the end and then go straight for a section. So you end up with not very much to take off with a chisel. It's not a drama. As far as these are concerned, when it comes to using these in comparison to a standard electric router, these are very quick to set up. They're a lot quieter to use. A standard router is going to, of course, need earmuffs, because otherwise you'll do yourself some damage over time. These are just a plain noise that you get. It's not an overly loud noise, and you can do it without earmuffs. Also, you've got nice curled shavings, which are a lot more fun than what comes flying off a router. And you also don't have the danger of the router bit exploding and flying off and hitting you in the chest or the face or somewhere else. These are a lot more enjoyable to use, a lot quicker to set up. The only downside is an electric router, obviously, is a lot cheaper these days than one of these. But if you come across one of these, I highly recommend you consider picking one up. If it's not an outrageous price and it's within your budget, it's well worth adding to your collection. I've used mine quite a bit on a number of jobs, and I enjoy using it every time. Just a side note, the 5-point star nut on the back is the inspiration for Rob Cosman with his release of the star adjuster that he created to put on other planes to replace the adjuster, which is the knurled round standard adjuster, because this is so easy to adjust with just a thumb or a finger and tighten up, whereas the knurled ones, especially as you get older, can be quite finicky and difficult to adjust. These ones, very simple, very good design. Quite surprising that Stanley had these on the 72 and they didn't utilise this mechanism on all their other planes, and I think Rob Cosman got onto something good there. Whether you feel it's worth buying one of Rob Cosman's adjusters and changing your planes up, that's up to you. But certainly these are a pleasure to use in comparison to the round knurled ones. The 72, like I said, very hard to come by. The prices on these just keep going up. The bull noses are going up even more. The bull noses are getting very scarce. Fortunately, they do end up in a lot of collectors' cupboards as complete sets. Last time I checked, these were going anywhere in between $600 to $1,200, depending on the condition. And that was quite some time ago that I checked. They could be substantially more now, but they are well worth it. Keep your eye out for one. No matter what your reason, whether you're planning to use, display, whether you're a collector or a woodworker, happy hunting.